Not released. Embossed signed paper certification of live birth. Not released. Record of your baptism. Not released. Why your wife, Michelle, can no longer practice law as an attorney. Maybe some insurance fraud going on there. And by the way, change you can believe in, Michelle Obama. She's got 24 personal assistants at the White House. Hillary, I think, only had 18, but she's got actually 24. They have it down, it's 22, but she's got 24. Where were you getting your foreign student aid, as a college student, and which countless passports did you have when you visited Pakistan in 1981? Well, it's very interesting. The Harvard Law Review, by the way, there wasn't any articles that you published as being the editor of the Harvard Law Review or as a professor at the University of Chicago. You know, no wonder. I mean, this isn't...
Everything about this man's life is a scam.
I'm telling you. Here was a politician, Chicago style, out of Chicago. He managed to get somehow elected to the Senate. And then magically he becomes president of the United States with an approval rating of about 31%. Gee, I think it's about time for a change, don't you, Bob?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a subscriber in Hawaii who went to school with him. And, you know, he knew him quite well. And said he would, you know, there was nothing outstanding about him. He was just an average student. And I think they knew that his mother had an illuminous background. His father was a Muslim, but was also involved in Marxism as well. And so I think he was chosen to be, you know, the president probably when he was a kid. I mean, these people think that far ahead.
Well, there is nothing outstanding about the guy. Everything that he has said that he's going to do off of his platform for running for president, it's all up and disappeared. I guess he's changed his mind. You know, we were going to get the hell out of the Middle East, right? Yeah. Well, here he is rolling into Afghanistan. And next up, because of our crotch bomber, they're calling the underwear bomber. I'm just calling him the crotch bomber. The PTFN or whatever that high explosive stuff was. Now the spin is, Bob, that it must have come from Yemen. Yeah, it must have come from Yemen. They're going to try to go into Yemen. They're already beefing up the troops for Afghanistan. They've been bombing the crap out of Pakistan. And the situation continues. Now, he ran on a platform that we're going to put an end to this Middle East stuff and we're going to get the heck out of there. I think not.
I think you're right. And I think we got, finally, war brewing in Israel and Iran.
Well, geez.
I think that's going to happen this year. I've been waiting to see when they would be making the moves. They got a lot of subscribers in the Middle East, and they all say the same thing. You know, anything we can get out of here, we're getting it out. And it's just not in Iran. It's in all of the other countries, because they believe that any attack will include a retaliatory measure by Iran on Saudi and many other places that are very friendly with the U.S., plus any places where there's U.S. troops stationed. And so among the wealthy in the Middle East, that's the scuttlebutt, so to speak.
All right, we're going to open up the phone lines. You'll have an opportunity, unfettered and unabashed, to get to Bob Chapman today. You can do so by dialing 800-313-9443. We'll be right back. Have you seen this, what the Democrats are trying to do? Is they're trying to register everybody as a voter in this country?
No, I haven't seen that.
Well, Chucky Schumer, I call him Chucky the Possum, Charles Schumer, and Barney Frank. Now, they're proposing universal voter registration. And what is universal voter registration? It means that all the state laws on elections will be overridden by a federal mandate. The feds tell the states, take everyone on every list of welfare that you have, take everybody that you have on a list for unemployed that you might have, take everybody on the list of property owners, take everybody on the list of driver's license holders, and register them to vote regardless of whether they want to or not. And the thing that jumped out about this is we've talked about 14th Amendment citizenry here. Blacks think that they got an even shake and they've got constitutional rights. No, you don't. You got civil rights, which, by the way, did they get their 40 acres and a mule? Nah, no, they didn't. Well, yeah, they did. Oh, welfare state took care of that. At any rate, that's what they want to do. And under the 14th Amendment, we're all aware that you become officially federal citizens. But more importantly, when you do the voter registration, you become that 14th Amendment citizen across the board. So this is not targeted to one group of individuals. No, our government is not prejudicial. We're going to register everybody and get them in there for the benefits of the government. Lovely stuff.
Well, I hadn't heard that. I did hear today that there's another executive order just been signed, which will create 10 commissioners, which will be in charge in martial law. And I've got the details, but I haven't gone over it as yet. And then late last year, they put together a little program, and it's being presented this week to or for public comment. It's by the U.S. Treasury and the Labor Department. And they want to promote the conversion of 401k savings and IRAs into government annuities. And that would mean, and I'm only guessing here because I don't know what their plan is, but that would mean that they would do something like this. My guess is to get the hook in, they'd make it voluntary, and they would have some sort of a annuity trust, and they would create money in that annuity trust collateralized by the assets of those who have pension funds and of one form or another. And that would allow them to have the Fed print money, which was collateralized, to be able to purchase Treasury and agency paper. Agency is bonds which are issued by Fannie, Freddie, Ginnie, and FHA. And so I also think that, and I've projected this before, that 80% of the trades last year in treasuries, agencies, and CDOs, which is MBS, which is collateralized debt obligations, which are bonds which contain mortgages, they bought about over $2 trillion worth of that junk, probably about 2.3 of 2.4. And the problem is why they're buying so much is the foreigners have stopped buying, and that's borne out by their forex positions as reserves have dropped in the last 6 months from 64.5% of assets in dollars to 61.8. And so what I see coming here is a plan to get the foot in the door, and that'll be, I think, at the beginning voluntary, and then and with the assets being used in collateralization. And they might even have people who would like to convert, say, some of their money market funds or mutual funds or whatever they have into these annuity units created by the Treasury. And this is what they're up to because they can't fund the debt. The Fed can't continue to buy all the debt and monetize it because it's very inflationary. And so by essentially stealing the assets of a lifetime of American workers, they expect to be able to hold on for another 2 or 3 years. So this is the latest caper that they're into. And I've been waiting for a year and a half to see what they were going to do and how they were going to do it. And, of course, the money from those who got the units would go in the general fund. And the general fund pays for, and that's where the money goes, for Medicare and Social Security. So it would be a funding process for Social Security and Medicare, and to pay off debt or to create new debt.
800-313-9443 will begin rolling your calls right after this break.